This page is the vibrant cover of Saturn Fan Magazine, showcasing some hot titles for the Sega Saturn. The cover art features prominent characters like Dmitry Maximov and Morrigan Ainsland from Darkstalkers, along with Nakoru from the King of Fighters 95, highlighting major fighting game coverage. Also pictured is a character likely from a dating sim like Dukyusei, which is teased with latest screenshots revealed. The magazine promises 2 large supplements and deep dives into titles such as King of Fighters 95, Neon Genesis, Evangelion, and Darkstalkers, Vampire Hunter, noted with a detailed explanation. Other games listed on the side indicate a broad range of content, including fighting games like Virtua Fighter Kids, RPGs like Dungeon Master, and various simulations and action titles. The cover proudly declares it's the Saturn's only complete bi-weekly publication and lists the issue details. 1996 number 5, the March 1st issue, priced at 540 yen. This cover definitely sets the stage for a packed issue covering the latest and greatest on the Saturn at the time. This page is an exciting feature showcasing the release of Gulliver Boy on the Sega Saturn. Described as an amazing great adventure action RPG, the game is set in the 19th century Mediterranean amidst swirling Spanish ambitions. The page highlights several key features, including powerful and impressive battle scenes unique to the Saturn hardware. It also boasts a deep and realistic trading system as an alternative to simply grinding for money. A major selling point is the extensive, high-quality animation sequences, totaling over 30 minutes, surpassing typical TV or video animation in color and size. Character expressions are emphasized, with characters talking and changing expressions frequently during conversations, featuring voice work from a large cast of 42 actors. The page also prominently lists the involvement of celebrated creators, like General Director Hiroyu Ji, character designer Ashita Toyu, and special mecha designer Akira Toriyama. The game is presented as a 2-disc Creedrom title, priced at 6,800 yen, and set for release on March 22, 1996. Screenshots provide glimpses of the battle system and a town environment. The next page features Gotha 2, Night of the Sky, the highly anticipated second installment in the Gotha series on the Sega Saturn. This 3D simulation game from Koei and Micronet aims to surpass its predecessor with a completely new system. It abandons the traditional hex grid for a free map system, allowing full 360-degree movement during tactical planning. Key gameplay innovations include a unit formation system where parameters change based on your troop setup, equipment growth influenced by battle performance, and a new weapon system that lets you change mounted weapons mid-combat. The game promises a rich narrative with multiple scenarios and different endings based on player choices. The page showcases character portraits for the voice cast and several dynamic screenshots of the strategic map and intense aerial battles, highlighting the game's focus on futuristic vehicle combat. Released on March 1st, this title offered deep strategic gameplay for Saturn owners. This page features 7 Mystery Mansions, a mystery adventure game from Koei for the Sega Saturn. This title boasts a scenario written by Naoki Prize-winning author Kageki Shimoda, marking his first foray into game development. The game is highlighted for its smooth and beautiful 3D CG graphics, a compelling story delivered by famous voice actors, and a mysterious atmosphere enhanced by music from Maestro Hiroshi Miyagawa. Set across 7 distinct mansions, the game promises a shocking adventure where mysteries are layered upon one another, with a focus on the psychological portrayal of its unique characters. Visuals include detailed 3D renderings of the mansion's interiors and exteriors, alongside shots of the game's intriguing character models. The page confidently claims it's 7 times more fun than previous adventure titles. It was scheduled for release on April 5th. This page features Gungriffon, the Eurasian Conflict, a 3D shooting game from GameArts for the Sega Saturns. Set in a war-torn 2015, the game plunges players into a desperate battle for survival piloting advanced mobile weapons. It emphasizes realistic battle scenes rendered with cutting-edge polygon graphics, featuring detailed modeling based on real-world military vehicles for intense, exhilarating mech combat. This unprecedented 3D shooting game was scheduled to launch on March 15th. This page showcases multiple titles from Victor Entertainment. On the left is Sea Bass Fishing, a realistic fishing simulation game featuring cooperation from Daiwa, incorporating real fishing gear like rods, reels, and lures. It boasts dynamic fishing recreated with 3D polygons and is supervised by a renowned fishing expert. Screenshots display the fishing interface, fish models, and character designs. Below that is Thunderhawk 2, a high-speed 3D helicopter shooting game known as A3 Thunderstrike, or Thunderhawk 2, Firestorm internationally. It promises varied missions, intense battles with 3D graphics, and features like lock-on and strategic use of terrain. Screenshots show cockpit views, external action, and mission selection. On the right is a smaller feature on KO Flying Squadron. Act 1. The action game featuring the rabbit-eared Rumi and her fox friend Spot. Artwork and a gameplay screenshot are shown. Both Sea Bass Fishing and Thunderhawk 2 were scheduled for release on February 23rd, while KO Flying Squadron Act 1 was slated for spring. An Internet information section directs readers to Victor's website. This page features 3 distinct titles. On the left is Death Mask, presented as an authentic movie-adventure game for Sega Saturn and PlayStation. The section highlights the game with a striking visual of a face dissolving into light and a character portrait, likely Angel Devoid, the protagonist, alongside cryptic phrases like, "What if you awoke with someone else's identity?" It mentions the release date and price for both platforms, and a promotional campaign with various prizes. In the middle we have Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner for the Sega Saturn. This is a role-playing game featuring 2D field exploration and 3D polygon dungeons. The section showcases character art and screenshots highlighting the battle system and demonic encounters. It mentions over 300 types of demons and the game's strategic RPG combat mechanics using the Vice system. Finally, on the right is Donpachi, a vertical scrolling shooting game originally a hit arcade title, now ported to Sega Saturn. The section displays dynamic gameplay screenshots of intense aerial combat with various enemy types and powerful lasers. It highlights the game's fast-paced action and the get point system for earning high scores, a key element of its arcade design. The game was scheduled for a spring release. This page features 2 very different games. On the left is Sword and Sorcery, a Sega Saturn RPG from Microcabin. The page showcases vibrant character artwork, including the main heroes and some fantasy creatures, promoting it as a quest to become the greatest legend. It highlights features like 3D polygon graphics, real stage exploration, and a strategic battle system with a unique diorama combat view. The game was released in May 1996. On the right is Revolution X, an arcade hit ported to Sega Saturn, PlayStation, and Super Famicom, published by Acclaim. This action-packed title is famous for featuring the legendary rock band Aerosmith, with the tagline, "Music is the weapon." The page boasts that it's a perfect port of the #1 arcade smash. Revolution X was available in March. This page showcases 2 distinct gaming experiences. On the left is RoboPit for the Sega Saturn, a creative mech customization and fighting game where players can build their own unique robot fighters piece by piece, from body and arms to legs and head. You can save multiple creations and challenge others in a versus mode, or take on AI opponents. The game highlights a ranking system to climb and offers various camera perspectives during combat. Screenshots depict diverse robot designs and arena battles, embodying the game's tagline, "We were born to fight." On the right we have DEFCON 5, available on PlayStation, Sega Saturn, and 3DO. Described as a simulation/real-time RPG, this first-person game puts you in the role of a defender, tasked with protecting a space station from hostile invaders. It emphasizes strategic defense and tactical combat from within the station systems. The artwork features a dramatic image of a human heart intertwined with machinery, tying into its tagline, "The one with the hot heart is hot." Screenshots show the first-person view of monitoring systems and targeting interfaces within the station. This page features 2 distinct Sega Saturn titles. On the left is the Ocean Adventure Simulation RPG, Great Adventure, The Miracle of St. Elmo. This game plunges players into a 3D world of sea exploration and trade, featuring powerful polygon graphics for realistic voyages with full 360-degree views. Prepare for thrilling real-time naval battles against up to 16 ships, seamlessly integrated into the adventure. A free trade system allows funding your journey by visiting over 50 ports and locations, trading various goods. The game also includes cinematic visual movies to enhance the narrative. Character artwork and gameplay screenshots showcase the game's adventurous spirit. On the right, FD and Disi Cubic Gallery offers a unique art entertainment experience. Select 50 famous paintings from renowned artists and explore them in interactive 3D spaces. The story follows characters Ikreti and Diskesi as they navigate a dimension filled with art, posing questions about their journey and interaction with the art itself, like the Mona Lisa's smile. This title blends art appreciation with a novel, interactive format. This page features two distinct Sega Saturn titles, targeted at a mature audience, both falling within the mahjong genre, but with different presentations. On the left is Jaleco's idol Yanshi Tsuchiepai 2, a sequel to the popular mahjong series known for its anime aesthetic. This 18+ rated game features a roster of cute anime girls, including an exclusive character for the home console version. It boasts extensive voice acting from 12 popular voice actors, original songs, full animation, and even includes an art book by Kenichi Sonoda. Releasing on April 5 for 7,800 yen as a 2-disc set, this title emphasizes high-quality production values for fans of anime-style mahjong. On the right is Micronet's Mahjong Kyo Jidai Kogol, After-School Edition. Also rated 18+, this mahjong game distinguishes itself with live-action video of high school girls. Players challenge 4 kogols, high school girls, with successful wins leading to exciting enjoyable time, implying unlockable content like photos or videos of the featured girls. It's presented as a straightforward, adult-oriented mahjong game, utilizing live-action footage. This title was already available for 8,800 yen at the time of this publication. This page features a large advertisement for the racing game Drift King, Shutoku Battle, highlighting its focus on night races and drifting on the Metropolitan Expressway. A key draw is the ability to race against 10 different female drivers, each with unique personalities and conditions for challenging them. The ad includes portraits of some of these drivers like Miki, Riri, Yumi, Kaede, and others, alongside screenshots showing intense night driving action and race results. It promotes mastering, drifting, and challenging the drivers in different modes, including a midnight driving theme and a bonus mirror course. The right side of the page is the magazine's table of contents for the March 1, 1996 issue of Saturn Fan. It lists various articles and features, including a large section dedicated to game strategies and reviews for titles like The King of Fighters, 95, Dragon Force, Metal Black, and Gungrafon. There are also sections for new game announcements, hardware reports like the Sega AM2 Research Fan section focusing on Virtua Fighter 2 and Guardian Heroes, as well as regular columns covering rankings, news, and coming releases. The contents provide a comprehensive overview of the Sega Saturn gaming scene at the time. This page provides an exciting look at the King of Fighters 95 making its way to the Sega Saturn, highlighted by striking artwork of Kyo Kusanagi and Iori Yagami. The focus is on how this port achieves a near-perfect translation of the arcade experience, thanks to a revolutionary room cartridge system. The article explains that SNK and Sega collaborated to bring the game to Saturn, utilizing a twin advanced room system expansion cartridge. This clever technology allows the Clydrom to handle character data and voices, while the room cartridge stores background data. This parallel loading significantly reduces the CD access times that plagued some ports, ensuring smooth gameplay and accurate sprite handling. Visuals on the page include dynamic screenshots of gameplay, demonstrating the faithful graphical representation compared to the original Neo Geo version. It also shows the Sega Saturn console with the expansion cartridge inserted. The developers claim the graphics are virtually indistinguishable from the arcade, and character movements are accurately preserved. This port is positioned as the first major SNK Neo Geo title, utilizing this advanced system, setting a high standard for future fighting game conversions. This page dives deep into the unique fighting mechanics of King of Fighters 95, explaining how players can master its distinct systems. It covers everything from executing special moves, super moves, and high-damage desperation moves, which become available as the power gauge fills up. The page highlights key features like the guard cancel, allowing players to interrupt blocks with a counterattack, or even a desperation move when powered up. It also details the powerful blow-away attack, a universal move that sends opponents flying, and the strategic use of the power gauge, which boosts attack power and enables the strongest techniques. Defensive options are also explained, including the attack evade, rolling, to dodge incoming attacks, and the subsequent counterattack opportunity. Movement is covered with descriptions of dash and high jump for closing distance. Finally, The team battle system is discussed, explaining how teammates can provide support attacks under specific conditions. The page is filled with dynamic screenshots illustrating these moves and systems performed by iconic characters like Kyo, Terry, Iori, and others. The King of Fighters 95's roster and team editing are highlighted. A key innovation is the ability to freely customize your three-person team, a departure from the previous game. The page showcases diverse teams, like the Rival Team, Iori, Billy, Eiji, Art of Fighting Team, Takuma, Ryo, Robert, and Ikari Warriors, Ralph, Clark, Hydern. Other featured teams include the Psycho Soldier Team, Athena, C, Chin, Women Fighters Team, Yuri, King, Mai, Hero Team, Kyo, Benimaru, Goro, Fatal Fury Team, Terry, Andy, Joe, and Kim Team, Kim, Chang, Choi. Each team section includes screenshots of special and desperation moves, showcasing fighting styles and strategic possibilities, emphasizing customization and strategic depth. This page provides an in-depth look at Dragon Force, a strategy RPG for the Sega Saturn, noting that the game is 65% complete. It focuses on clarifying previously unknown system details, explaining the flow of the game, and even announcing the results of a character-making contest. The page highlights the game's opening anime featuring the 8 main characters. It describes the game world as the continent of Legendra, where 8 nations are vying for control, and the gameplay involves strategic battles between human-like figures. Screenshots show the strategic map, a battle scene with numerous units clashing, and menu screens detailing unit information. Large character portraits dominate the page, showcasing some of the main heroes and a formidable demonic antagonist. There's also a strip of smaller screenshots at the bottom, resembling film frames, featuring close-ups of various characters. The content emphasizes the strategic depth and the visually impressive anime sequences. The next page dives deeper into the gameplay systems of Dragon Force. Picking up from the overview on the previous page, it walks you through the typical flow of the game, which starts with selecting one of several rulers from different nations vying for control of the continent of Legendra. After your choice, you experience a unique opening demo specific to your chosen character, setting the stage for their journey and objectives. The core gameplay loop then alternates between the strategic domestic affairs mode and the real-time field mode leading to battles. Domestic affairs is where you manage your territories, recruit and train troops, award medals to boost loyalty, use items, search for new generals or hidden resources, and even build up your castles. This is your strategic planning phase. When you move onto the field map, time progresses in real time, and encountering enemy armies transitions you into the battle preparation mode, and then into the intense, large-scale, real-time battles where hundreds of units clash. The page highlights playing as Wayne from the Highland Kingdom, and introduces 4 initial generals who join him at the start: Lu, Nina, Somarion, and Link, providing brief descriptions of each. Screenshots throughout the page illustrate the world map, various menu screens for domestic affairs and battle preparation, the exciting battle sequences, and character portraits. Very brief summary. This page explains Dragon Force's gameplay loop, covering ruler selection, opening demo, strategic domestic affairs, real-time field movement, and large-scale battles, plus introduces starting characters for Wayne. Dragon Force features 2 main gameplay modes: Field Mode and Battle Preparation Mode. In Field Mode, players use commands to recruit, move armies, and manage cities. Key field commands gather intelligence, allowing players to check national strength, search for officers, and locate commanders. When armies meet, Battle Preparation Mode begins. Here, players choose to fight, negotiate, or retreat. Negotiation attempts to avoid battle, but failure leads to immediate combat. Retreating allows withdrawal if paths are clear. The game also utilizes visual cues on the field map. Icons above units communicate their status. An exclamation mark for enemy presence, a sword for advancing, sweat drops for retreating, a smile for victory, running legs for retreat post-battle, and an angel indicating unit defeat. These features enable strategic decision-making. This page delves into the battle mode of Dragon Force, a real-time combat system featuring large armies of up to 100 soldiers per side. Winning conditions involve defeating the enemy commander, or all enemy soldiers. The page details strategic commands available during battle, including various formations, such as offensive, defensive, and special types like flanking, along with tactics like advancing, retreating, and concentrating forces. It also covers using powerful special attacks fueled by MP, the option to retreat from battle, and the ability to adjust the camera view to manage the situation. Additionally, the page announces the results of the Dragon Force character making contest. The contest, announced in December, received over 1,000 entries, and the judging panel included industry figures. Importantly, some submitted designs were selected to appear in the final game. The page lists the award winners. The best award goes to Miltia, 20 years old, from Ibaraki, whose design is described as a spirit user harpy, with a gentle but strong personality, and her artwork is shown. The Excellence Award winners are Yokoyama Takunori, 15 years old, Osaka, and Yoshida Kenji, 21 years old, Aichi. A list of honorable mention recipients is also presented. The contest organizers comment on the impressive quality of submissions and the challenging task of judging, noting that some ideas were adapted for integration into the game. This page is a feature on the upcoming Sega Saturn port of the arcade shooting game, Metal Black. The magazine expresses excitement, calling it a perfect port of the illusionary arcade shooting game that arcade fans highly praise. The article discusses the game's unique neuron power-up system. Collecting these floating items powers up your standard shot and builds energy for the devastating max laser. Using the max laser consumes collected neurons, reducing your standard shot level, so strategic use is key. There are two types of max laser: a concentrated beam for hitting weak points by tapping the button, and a screen-clearing spread shot by holding the button down. Based on a sample room of the first stage, the reviewer is impressed with the port's quality, noting that the opening demo and music are faithfully reproduced, including fan-favorite arranged tracks. Screenshots showcase the first stage's industrial setting, the player ship, wireframe models, and concept art of the pilot. The page also highlights one of the mid-bosses, Zengo, depicted as a massive flying aircraft carrier that emerges from the sand and launches strange creatures, creating impressive and surprising moments within the game. Enemy designs blend mechanical and organic elements. The game is a horizontal scrolling shooter supporting 2 simultaneous players and features 6 standard stages, plus 2 bonus stages. The focus here is on the fateful recreation of the first Earth-based stage. The bottom of the page teases the epic boss battles, emphasizing the strategic use of the max laser. This page reveals new details and screenshots for the highly anticipated Sega Saturn port of the classic dating sim Duke Yusei, subtitled If Tentative. The feature promises a return to that nostalgic summer, allowing players to create memories with the game's numerous female characters. The magazine highlights that both the game's system and graphics are getting significant power-ups for this release, improving the visual quality further. New screenshots provide a glimpse of the updated character artwork and scenes. Specific characters mentioned include Misakwan Tanaka, known for her trademark ponytail, and Kyoko Sakuragi, a character originally added in the PC Engine version. The report confirms it's a one-player adventure game, dating sim, and is currently around 50% complete, with the release date still undecided. This page delves deeper into the graphical enhancements and dynamic time system implemented in Duke Yusei If. The magazine highlights the results of uncompromising graphic correction, using Misakwan Tanaka as a prime example. Detailed comparisons show significant improvements in character artwork, focusing on elements like hair detail, shading, and the texture of clothing and environments, bringing the visuals closer to the original concept art. Furthermore, the game introduces a visual representation of time passing. Backgrounds and environments dynamically change depending on the hour, with examples shown of a riverside scene, a mansion, and a house at different times of day, from morning light to late-night darkness. This dynamic time system isn't just for show. The article hints that story events and interactions are tied to the time of day, potentially leading to different outcomes or dialogue based on when you encounter characters, adding depth to the gameplay beyond static backgrounds. This page features the Sega Saturn version of the idle simulation game, Debut. The magazine is highly impressed with the significant graphical improvements made for the Saturn release, showcasing beautiful character artwork and detailed event scenes. A major highlight is the completely new, fully animated opening sequence, described as a continuous series of cuts that demonstrate the high quality of the animation. Debut for Saturn is noted for being packed with original elements and exclusive events not found in other versions. Players will experience a busy mix of work and private life as they manage their idol, with events ranging from idol shows and TV appearances to personal moments like Valentine's Day and even some risque service shots. Interacting with rivals is also key to success on the path to becoming a top idol. The game boasts a wealth of content and events, making it a comprehensive idol simulation experience unique to the platform. This page presents information on two distinct Sega Saturn titles. On the left is Shell Shock from Electronic Arts Victor, a near-future tank action game set in 1997, where you control a team of 5 Special Forces members. The magazine highlights its unique atmosphere, driven by the rhythm of rap music that permeates the battlefield. Key features include smooth 3D graphics, realistic sound effects and voice acting, and music provided by American rap artists, all centering around piloting the M13 Predator tank. Shell Shock was released on both Sega Saturn and PlayStation. The right side is dedicated to Guardian Heroes, the acclaimed fighting action RPG by Treasure and Sega. This section is titled Valuable CD Jacket, suggesting the included artwork can be used as a CD case cover. Guardian Heroes is praised for its simultaneous 6-player versus mode and a massive roster of 45 playable characters in that mode. The text specifically mentions the complexity of remembering moves for so many characters and provides a detailed list of special moves and magic commands for 33 of them across various character types like Macho, MI, Han, Kingdom Knights, and ancient sorcerer weapons, outlining the button inputs for each technique. The game features multi-layered battlefields that add depth to the combat. This page continues the look at Guardian Heroes on the left, focusing on game mechanics like the two distinct ending types, light and dark, influenced by your karma level. It also reveals details about the hidden arena challenges available at specific stages and explains the unique continue system, allowing up to 98 continues on hard difficulty after clearing the game on easy, a massive increase from the standard 3. There's also information on how much HP is recovered after clearing areas, varying significantly by difficulty and character luck, along with screenshots showing gameplay and the character stats screen. The right side unveils a major new title, World Advanced Strategy Operation File, a deep simulation game. The striking illustration depicts intense military action, with tanks, planes, and infantry, setting the scene for a world at war. The focus is on an imaginary campaign, featuring a completely unique world setting, distinct from real history. This campaign offers a branching multi-scenario structure, allowing players to choose their path through 30 diverse maps, leading to different outcomes across 6 main branches, before culminating in a final, large-scale battle. 3 initial scenarios are previewed with map screenshots: Destruction of Peace, where you defend an island nation; Blade of the South, involving repelling an invading force on a wide map; and Fortress Island, where assaulting a key territory requires careful handling of the enemy fleet. The game promises replayability with choices affecting unit types and production options. This page continues the deep dive into World Advanced Strategy Operation File, showcasing the vast array of maps available across different modes. Standard mode offers a wealth of maps categorized by difficulty and player count, including nostalgic favorites from previous entries. The page also introduces the challenging next-level maps, featuring unique scenarios like the infantry-focused Island of Death. Moving to the right, the focus shifts to the demanding Soviet campaign. This is presented as an advanced challenge, historically placing players in command of Soviet forces, facing the technologically superior German army. Success requires strategic unit development and tactical prowess. 3 specific historical operations from this campaign are detailed: the desperate defense during the Kyiv Great Encirclement Battle, the strategic maneuvers needed for the breakthrough of the German armored net, and the intense urban warfare of the Battle of Stalingrad. Each operation is briefly summarized, highlighting its key strategic challenges, supported by map and tactical views. The content emphasizes the difficulty and strategic depth of the game's historical scenarios. This page dives into the highly anticipated mech action title, Gun Griffon, the Eurasian Conflict. It sets the stage in the early 21st century amidst conflict between 4 major powers on the Eurasian continent, where the player pilots an armored walking gun system, AWGS, a powerful combat robot. The page highlights the technical prowess of the game, specifically mentioning the use of 2 different movie formats, True Motion and MPEG, for cutscenes and in-game visuals, noting the enhanced quality achievable with the Sega Saturn movie card. There's a breakdown of the basic AWGS operations, covering movement, jumping, and weapon usage, alongside an explanation of the crucial cockpit display and its various indicators like the radar, altitude, and weapon status. The control scheme is described as intuitive, similar to flight simulators. The feature concludes by hyping the game's impressive opening movie, confirming it utilizes the Saturn's capabilities to deliver a stunning visual experience. This page continues the in-depth look at Gun Griffon, the Eurasian conflict, focusing on strategies and advanced techniques. It kicks off by highlighting the increased difficulty of missions 5 and 6, detailing their objectives such as defending allies, and dealing with specific enemy threats like the APCS and C-17 transport planes. The guide then delves into tips for shortening mission completion times, emphasizing the game's time attack mode and the importance of using advanced maneuvers like HIMAX effectively. Mastering movement is crucial, with explanations of dashing, parallel movement, and independently rotating the upper body for aiming while moving, allowing skilled players to engage targets while repositioning. Using the DLS radar system to identify enemies and their locations is also covered. A specific section addresses destroying the K-17 in one mission, suggesting using the HIMAX system for a quick takedown. Finally, the page features a campaign offering a chance to win a demo CD-ROM showcasing CEG sequences and gameplay footage. The screenshots illustrate mission briefings, targeting views, radar displays, and various combat scenarios including engaging helicopters and ground targets. This page dives deep into the highly anticipated sequel, Panzer Dragoon Saga, promising an in-depth look at the story of the two protagonists and revealing details about the first 4 of the game's 7 stages. The page features striking artwork of the protagonist Lundy, standing alongside his Kulia companion, Lagi, emphasizing their journey through a collapsing world. The article breaks down the initial parts of the game, starting with the opening sequence where Lundy's peaceful life with Lagi is shattered by an attack on their village, triggering Lugi's transformation into a powerful dragon and the beginning of their quest. It covers the first stage, the ruined village, highlighting the devastation and encounter with mutated creatures. Subsequent sections touch upon the Empire and Mech battlefield and the distinct environments of the lush and decaying forest and the old-world underground plant, leaving the later stages shrouded in mystery. Screenshots scattered throughout the page showcase key moments, from the initial village attack and Lebegi's transformation to combat encounters with various creatures, and the boss Haxman, described as a significant threat. There's also a brief interview with producer Yukio Futatsugi, who comments on the design philosophy behind Stage 1, and a charming section where Lagai shares his own thoughts on the adventure and the importance of mastering combat skills. The page highlights the significant graphical and narrative evolution from the first game, promising a deeper and more immersive experience. This page continues the deep dive into Panzer Dragoon Saga, detailing the next 3 stages of the game. It covers the second stage, the Empire and Mech battlefield, where Lundy and Lagi find themselves caught in a battle between the Empire's forces and mechanical creations, culminating in a boss fight against a massive transforming transport ship. Next is the third stage, the lush and decaying forest, featuring a high-speed chase and routes branching left or right to face distinct enemies like the powerful Haxman, who also appeared in the first game, and the serpentine Narga. The page then moves on to the fourth stage, the old-world underground plant, a maze-like area with branching paths through ancient facilities. Here, dormant ancient weapons awaken, attacking the heroes. The article also unveils the game's Berserk system, explaining how filling a special gauge allows Lagi to enter a temporary state of frenzy, automatically locking onto and barraging all enemies on screen with lasers. The latter part of the page focuses on a major encounter in Stage 4, revealing the area's protector, 3 powerful guardians who emerge to challenge Lagi on an elevating platform. Producer Toshihiro Kondo shares insights into the design of Stage 4, highlighting the dynamic water routes and continuous curves that create a jet coaster-like experience. Finally, the lovable Lagi offers his perspective on the challenging journey and the importance of mastering combat. This page is dedicated to the Sega Saturn port of Taito's renowned horizontal shooter, Darius 2. It proudly announces the successful achievement of a perfect port, capturing the essence of the arcade original. A central theme is the faithful recreation of the game's signature multi-screen display, made possible on the Saturn through clever use of zoom and scaling functions, allowing players to experience the vastness of the levels and bosses. The article highlights the game's unique two-player system, where the screen dynamically adjusts its zoom level based on the distance between the two players' ships, zooming out when they are far apart and in when they are close. This fascinating mechanic is even compared to systems found in fighting games. Furthermore, the page reveals that the Saturn release will include not only the arcade perfect port, but also a new Saturn-exclusive console mode, offering a different take on the gameplay experience as a standard single-screen shooter. Screenshots showcase the different screen modes, gameplay action, and the massive, iconic mechanical aquatic bosses the series is known for, emphasizing the scale and intensity that fans can expect from this port of the Taito masterpiece. This page focuses on the Sega Saturn exclusive RPG, Albert Odyssey, Legend of Eldian. Building upon the world of the Super Famicom predecessor, this title presents an entirely new story, told across two distinct parts. The article highlights the game's beautiful graphics, leveraging the Saturn's capabilities with detailed 2D character sprites and backgrounds, combined with 3D polygon field maps. The game is a full-scale RPG, with a traditional 2D overhead perspective for exploration. Combat is presented with rich animation patterns for characters, showcasing varied visuals for normal attacks, magic, and special abilities, adding excitement to battles. Particular attention is drawn to the meticulously produced event scenes, designed to enhance the narrative and immerse the player in dramatic moments, such as riding giant monsters or intimate character interactions. The main character is a young boy named Pike, who grows into a hero as he battles the undying Emperor. He is connected to the protagonist of the previous game, Guy, who is noted as Pike's ancestor. The story involves elements like a village consumed by flames and the legend of the three Eldian sisters. The page features various screenshots illustrating the game's exploration, battle system, and some of these dramatic event scenes, along with artwork of the main characters Pike and Guy, and other significant figures and creatures from the game. This page features a preview of the building simulation game, The Tower for the Sega Saturn. It highlights the game's core concept, where the player acts as the owner and manager of a skyscraper, expanding it and managing internal logistics like elevators to satisfy residents. New features for the Saturn version, such as a detailed city map, are showcased. Screenshots illustrate the gameplay, showing the building exterior, the city map overview, and an interface for managing elevators. The article mentions the planned release date in late February 1996 and the price of 6,800 yen. The right side of the page focuses on Ranking Street, a section combining sales data with reader input for Sega Saturn, Super 32X, and Mega Drive games. A sales analysis notes Street Fighter Alpha as a major hit and mentions Guardian Heroes. The page includes sales ranking charts for 2 different weeks in early 1996. The top games in these charts include popular titles like Street Fighter Alpha, Guardian Heroes, Sega Rally Championship, and Virtua Fighter 2. A screenshot shows a fighting game in action, likely one of the top-ranked titles. This page is a reader response postcard serving multiple purposes for Saturn Fan Magazine subscribers. It functions as a way to send feedback or participate in sections like Ranking Street and the Game Research Institute, which were discussed on the previous page. It also includes an application form for the magazine's reader presence, offering a chance to win items from a list of 20. Furthermore, there's a section for readers to submit their high scores or rankings for various games, including titles like Ninku and Return to Sora, allowing fans to compete and share their achievements. The postcard collects basic personal information like name, address, age, and phone number. This page features the Ranking Street section, where readers submit their feedback and rankings for Sega Saturn games via the postcard from the previous page. The highlight is the top-ranked game, Sega Rally Championship, which is based on the popular Sega Rally mode from the Sega Senshiro Shinken Yugi collection. Readers praise its solid racing mechanics derived from the successful Sega Rally series, noting its challenge and satisfying gameplay, especially the ghost car feature for time attacks. While some found the handling sensitive, the overall consensus points to it being a highly enjoyable and replayable racer, a worthy champion according to the fans. The second-ranked game is Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, also receiving positive mentions for its depth and engaging world. The page includes the full ranking table, but the focus is clearly on the top contenders and reader thoughts on what makes them stand out. This page continues the Ranking Street section from the previous issue, focusing heavily on the second-place title, Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner. Readers offer extensive feedback on this dense RPG, Comments frequently praise the graphics and presentation, noting the atmospheric visuals and impressive character designs. Many highlight the challenging yet rewarding gameplay loop, which involves recruiting and managing demons and navigating complex 3D dungeons. The story and overall dark, adult tone are also points of discussion, with players appreciating the depth and unique world. While the difficulty and intricate systems were noted, the general consensus among these readers is that Devil Summoner is a deep, engaging, and high-quality role-playing experience. The ranking summary confirms Devil Summoner's second place with strong approval scores. This page continues the Ranking Street rankings. Claiming the third spot is Mobile Suit Gundam. Players appreciate its attempt to recreate the anime's story and simulate the mobile suit experience, praising it as a solid adaptation from Sunrise. However, some find it difficult for newcomers and criticize technical aspects like jerky movement and lack of detail, noting it feels more oriented towards dedicated fans. The game received a 76% approval rating. Coming in at fourth place is the racing simulation game Wizard's Harmony. Readers enjoyed its original story and charming atmosphere, highlighting the smooth character animations and pleasant event scenes. The game is seen as having a nice, relaxing vibe. On the downside, players felt it lacked depth and challenge, criticizing the slow pace and simple mechanics. Loading times were also noted as a negative. Wizard's Harmony finished with a 63% approval rating. This Ranking Street installment reviews games ranked 5th to 9th. Godzilla Archipelago Shock, 5th, was praised for its monster battles and sound, but criticized for simplistic gameplay. Theme Park, 6th, offered a unique amusement park management experience, but suffered from a slow pace and repetitive nature. Mahjong DX Graduation, 7th, stood out visually with charming character designs, but had a steep difficulty curve. Virtua Racing, 8th, a port of the arcade classic, was solid but lacked innovation and felt dated. Pro Mahjong Kiwame S, 9th, was a standard mahjong game, well made but basic and unremarkable compared to others in the genre. Screenshots for Godzilla and Mahjong DX Graduation were also included. This page features the final results of the Mega Drive Ranking Street. The countdown continues from 12th place. In 12th place is Chaos Control, a shooter with praised visuals but criticized for simplistic gameplay. Coming in at 11th is Fist of the North Star, a fighting game based on the popular manga, receiving mixed reviews for its gameplay despite appealing to fans of the source material. Blackfire takes the 10th spot, a helicopter shooter appreciated for its presentation but facing criticism for controls and difficulty. The page culminates in the top 2 spots. Surgical Strike is crowned number 1, an FMV game generally enjoyed for its production values and exciting action. The Penga Pengo lands at 2nd place, a puzzle game that garnered a more mixed reception, seen by some as a standard port. A table provides a scoring breakdown for these top 2 games. Finally, there's a section inviting readers to submit reviews for upcoming Sega Saturn titles. This page is packed with essential information for any serious Saturn owner. Kicking things off is the popular game ranking, where Night Warriors Darkstalkers Revenge maintains its dominant position at number 1. Other fan favorites like Fighting Vipers and Neon Genesis Evangelion also feature prominently, showing the diverse tastes of the players. We also get a glimpse into what players are looking forward to in the Voices of Expectation section, with readers sharing their anticipation for upcoming releases and features they hope to see. Down below, the Saturn Port Request ranking reveals the games fans desperately want on the console, with the fighting powerhouse Tekken 2 leading the charge. Other highly requested titles span various genres, including RPGs and action games. The major highlight of the page is the Scoop Strategy Guide for Street Fighter Alpha Zero. This guide focuses on unlocking and fighting against the hidden boss, Shin Guki Akuma. It details the specific conditions needed to make him appear, involving character selection and holding certain buttons on the load screen. Screenshots showcase intense battles against this formidable foe, offering insights into mastering the game and tackling this challenging opponent. It's a must-read for anyone aiming to conquer Street Fighter Alpha Zero. This guide delves into Street Fighter Alpha Zero, starting with Dramatic Battle Mode. This mode features Ryu and Ken teaming up against Him Bison, mirroring the movie's finale. The guide explains how to activate the mode and includes commands. A key challenge involves achieving a 68-hit combo in dramatic battle, with detailed, screenshot-illustrated instructions. The guide also provides general combat strategies. It covers the zero counter, alpha counter, a defensive reversal option, noting its character-specific effectiveness and gauge consumption. It offers advice on its appropriate use and potential risks. Finally, the guide examines down avoidance, a recovery technique to prevent follow-up attacks. It highlights the advantages and disadvantages, emphasizing that strategic timing is crucial for competitive play. The Guide to Street Fighter Alpha Zero focuses on strategic wake-up play, both offensively and defensively. Offensively, it stresses reading opponents to predict wake-up options and using mix-ups and layered attacks to overwhelm them. Defensively, it recommends calm judgment, low blocking, and mastering character-specific reversal techniques, including super combos. It also analyzes the auto guard feature, designed for beginners. Further, the guide provides strategies for countering projectile zoning, also known as the bird cage, and Akuma's air Hadoken. Finally, it ends with a brief announcement of the upcoming Street Fighter Alpha 2, previewing updated graphics, new characters, and a customizable combo system. This page provides a comprehensive guide for the first year in the soccer management simulation game, J-League Pro Soccer Club, Wo Tsukuru. It emphasizes that the initial setup in the first year is crucial for the club's future success, especially given the challenging game difficulty in the lower divisions. The guide covers essential steps including selecting your club's hometown from the 609 available cities, noting how factors like population and transportation affect fan support. It then delves into choosing your club's name, uniform, and flag design, offering various styles. A significant portion focuses on selecting a manager and players based on preferred playstyle, contrasting the South American emphasis on individual attack with the European focus on organized defense. Finally, it touches upon acquiring sponsors with different benefits and managing player scouting and contracts to build a strong team. The page features screenshots showcasing the game's menu screens for club creation, city selection, manager/player details, and sponsorship options, illustrating the depth of the simulation. This page offers essential strategies for navigating the crucial first year in J-League Pro Soccer Club, Wo Tsukuru, and surviving on limited funds. It emphasizes carefully managing your finances to avoid a game over, detailing how to set monthly advertising budgets and ticket prices to maximize income while controlling expenses. The guide breaks down the in-game year, covering the key J-League stages, preseason, and various cup tournaments. It also provides advice on player management, stressing the need to be cautious when acquiring new talent, handling the yearly contract negotiations, and strategically sending players abroad for training, noting how different countries offer unique boosts to player abilities. Finally, it touches upon the various irregular events that can occur throughout the game, impacting everything from player morale to club finances. Mastering these aspects in the first year is key to building a successful club for the long term. This page expands on building a successful club in J-League Pro Soccer Club, Wo Tsukuru, focusing on optimizing training and matchday performance after the initial setup covered previously. It details how to implement effective training programs, explaining basic and special training categories, and how to adjust them between the J-League stages. The guide stresses the importance of tailoring training to suit different play styles, contrasting the offensive flair of the South American style with the defensive solidity of the European approach. Key match-winning techniques are discussed, including strategic formation changes, counterattacks, and defensive setups. The page also warns about the critical impact of player condition and fatigue, advising careful management to avoid injuries. Finally, it briefly touches on how to effectively use the bonus money earned from victories. Screenshots throughout illustrate the training menus, player condition displays, and tactical options available during gameplay. This page focuses on Sega Rally Championship, presenting a comprehensive strategy guide and the intermediate results for a time attack contest. The guide offers tips for mastering the game's 3 courses, desert, forest, and mountain, covering essential techniques like maintaining the best racing line, effective overtaking strategies, and handling challenging corners and jumps. It emphasizes the importance of adapting your approach based on the course and competitors. The page also highlights the ongoing Sega Rally Championship time attack contest, announcing the current top times as of January 26th in both the championship and best lap divisions. It lists leading contenders and their impressive times, showcasing the intense competition. Crucially, it provides details on how aspiring participants can still enter the contest, outlining the application deadline, February 23rd, necessary information, eligible vehicles, Celica, Delta, Stratos, including tuned versions, and the exciting prizes awaiting the winners, such as trophies, exclusive goods, and Sega Saturn software. Several screenshots of the game are included, illustrating key moments, like overtaking and navigating corners. This page provides a comprehensive strategy guide for the early stages of Alone in the Dark 2 on Sega Saturn. It walks players through infiltrating the mansion, starting with solving the mysteries of the garden to gain access via an underground passage. The guide details exploring the first floor, navigating tricky areas, dealing with various enemies like the chefs and the Voodoo Man, and overcoming challenges such as the shooting range and a duel with the boss chef, Titbone. Key item usage is highlighted, including the grappling hook, the Santa suit, and the poisoned wine, which are crucial for progression. Screenshots illustrate critical moments and areas, offering visual cues for players. The guide emphasizes watching your step on the first floor and using items strategically to survive the deadly traps and enemies before reaching the second floor. This guide walks players through the early stages of Alone in the Dark 2, covering garden infiltration, first floor exploration, key items, and boss encounters. This page continues the strategy guide for Alone in the Dark 2, Jack in the Dark, picking up the action on the second floor where intense gunfights await. The guide covers navigating the mansion's dangerous areas, including the Chowdetic third floor, with its unique enemies and item usage like throwing coins into a toy pistol and using ornaments to lure foes. It then details accessing the witch's bedroom, finding key items like the queen's crown, and using secret passages like the chimney to move between floors. The guide also explains solving puzzles like the billiard room to reveal hidden paths, providing screenshots for visual reference along the way. Below the guide, the page features the Conehead Club, a section dedicated to reader submissions, fan art, and editor commentary. It includes illustrations of original characters created by readers, discussions about the Sega Saturn console itself, anticipation for upcoming games, and even commentary on the magazine's cover art style, reflecting the vibrant fan community surrounding the Saturn era. This page continues the Conehead Club section, featuring a large collection of reader-submitted illustrations in the free illustration feature. Readers have contributed artwork covering a wide range of popular series, including charming depictions from Madu Monogatari and Puyo Puyo, Mecha from Gundam, characters from Lunar and Shining Force, and dynamic pieces inspired by Neon Genesis, Evangelion, Virtua Fighter, like Akira Yuki, Darkstalkers Felicia, and Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, among others. Beyond the art, several reader commentary sections are included. One discusses the hopes for a new Streets of Rage title on the Saturn, reminiscing about the previous games. Another reader shares reflections on the social challenges gamers sometimes face. A family relates the story behind their decision to purchase a Saturn, influenced by their children. There's also commentary from a female gamer comparing the popularity of PlayStation and Saturn among her friends, mentioning games like Virtua Fighter and Winning 11. Finally, a section dedicated to Saturn Life 96 focuses on Virtua Cop, highlighting the game's appeal and the realism of the light gun peripheral. Reader contributions showcase personal projects, including modifying the light gun for an even more authentic feel, demonstrating the deep engagement fans had with the game and its accessories. This page features various sections for the Conehead Club readers. The Fighting Paradise section showcases reader illustrations and profiles for fighting game characters, including Hijenko from Darkstalkers, Rose from Street Fighter Alpha, characters from Guardian Heroes, Virtua Fighter, King of Fighters, World Heroes, and X-Men, Children of the Atom. The Reader Presents section lists various posters as prizes, such as CG portrait posters featuring Virtua Fighter characters like Jackie, Sarah, Akira, Pi, Wolf, and Lao, as well as posters for Neon Genesis Evangelion and Super Real Mahjong Graffiti. Following this is the announcement of winners from previous issues' prize draws. The Q&A section tackles reader questions ranging from character details in games like Virtua Fighter, comparisons between the Saturn and PlayStation magazines and consoles, discussions about game genres like RPGs and fighting games, aspirations for careers in the gaming industry, and inquiries about the magazine's editorial process. The editorial staff's Satara communication column touches upon popular games, noting the continued popularity of Darkstalkers. Finally, the submission guidelines outline how readers can send in their illustrations, questions, and comments for publication, encouraging participation, with an illustration stating they are waiting for postcards. This page is packed with exciting news for gamers. First up in the goods section, Sega is rolling out the Kids Gear, a redesigned, simplified version of the color Game Gear featuring character art, making portable gaming even more accessible. Alongside that, they're introducing GameWare for the Saturn, a unique software concept that blurs the lines between games and a digital magazine, offering interactive content and information updates. Plus, a super convenient wireless controller for the Saturn is featured, which remarkably can also function as a remote for various TV brands. Moving on, there's a significant announcement about the X-Band online service launching for the Super Famicom (SNES), enabling players to connect and compete in titles like Super Street Fighter II Online, with hints of future Saturn support. And for fans of brutal fighters, the long-awaited Mortal Kombat movie is confirmed for release this spring, promising to bring the game's intense action to the big screen. The page also highlights an upcoming Art of Fighting event at Neo Geo World. This page announces the results of a massive game idea contest based on the PLGS, Personal Live Game System, concept from the previous year's Tenchi Muyo RPG. Readers submitted over 1,000 unique game ideas, which are currently under review by a panel, including industry veterans. The featured artwork gives a glimpse into the potential fantasy/adventure themes. The article highlights the types of ideas received, noting a strong focus on RPGs, simulations, and unique concepts involving time progression and changing events. Prizes for the best ideas include observation tours and Hudson soft goods. Elsewhere on the page, there's news of a significant partnership as Konami sponsors the J-League soccer team Verdy Kawasaki. A new multifunctional mobile phone from Kenwood is featured, alongside a report on a computer shogi tournament. The page also highlights the voice acting debut of digital idol Rika Mochizuki for a Saturn simulation game. Finally, a list of winners for previous magazine contests is provided, featuring prizes related to popular titles like Street Fighter Alpha and Shin Megami Tensei: Devil Summoner. This page features a reader survey offering prizes to those who participate. The survey asks readers for feedback on various topics, including their demographic information, what articles they read, other magazines they enjoy, what gaming hardware they own or want, their favorite articles from the current issue, which games from a provided list they've played, and their opinions on them, and what games they would like to see featured or reviewed. Prizes for answering the survey include Sega Saturn software like Gun Griffon, Snatcher, Winning Post 2, Neon Genesis, Evangelion, and Victory Goal 96, as well as a phone card featuring artwork related to Darkstalkers. Accompanying the survey are lists detailing the articles in this issue, various gaming magazines, different gaming hardware platforms, and an extensive list of Sega Saturn, Genesis, and Sega CD games for readers to rate, providing valuable insight into popular titles like Panzer Dragoon, Virtua Fighter 2, and many others. The page also includes detailed instructions on how to correctly fill out and submit the survey postcard for a chance to win. This page features a dual focus. On the left, it highlights Bandai Visual's entry into the Sega Saturn market, presenting them as a new challenger, bringing their extensive experience from anime and visual media production to 32-bit consoles. The article interviews a representative about their background in producing titles related to popular franchises like Mobile Suit Gundam and Macross, and how this expertise is being applied to games. They specifically mention Return to Zork as one of their early Saturn titles. The right side of the page shifts focus to Virtua Fighter 2 and a feature called Virtua Coliseum, now in its third installment. This section details strategy tips for players, encouraging them to master techniques like counter moves and crouching throws, and also mentions a feature related to Virtua Communication. A dynamic illustration of a Virtua Fighter 2 character, likely Wolf Hawkfield, dominates this side of the page. This page is a deep dive into mastering Kaeshi Waza, or counter moves, in Virtua Fighter 2, presented as part of the Virtua Coliseum strategy guide. It breaks down the effectiveness of counter moves, explaining how they allow you to receive an opponent's attack and immediately strike back for damage. The guide emphasizes the strategic importance of timing and reading your opponent's actions to successfully execute counters, particularly focusing on specific moments like the start of a round. The page then details which characters possess counter moves and the types of attacks they can counter: high, mid, low punches, and kicks. Featured characters include Akira Yuki, Kagemaru, Pai Chan, Wolf Hawkfield, and Dural, with sections dedicated to specific strategies for using their countermoves effectively against common opponent tendencies. It also stresses the importance of knowing the exact command inputs and understanding what happens if the counter fails, such as a regular punch coming out instead. Screenshots illustrate successful counter sequences and character-specific advice. This is essential information for players looking to elevate their defensive and offensive game by leveraging these critical techniques. This page continues the Virtua Coliseum strategy guide for Virtua Fighter 2, focusing intensely on the crouching throw, a technical grappling move unique to certain fighters. It specifically breaks down the use of crouching throws for Wolf Hawkfield and Jeffrey McWild. Level 1 details the characteristics of each character's low throws, like Wolf's double arm suplex and Tiger Driver, and Jeffrey's Iron Claw and Power Bomb, outlining their command inputs and describing their effects and uses. It also suggests other throws and attacks both characters can use as setups or complements to their low throw game. Level 2 delves into the strategic points where crouching throws are most effective. It explains how to create opportunities by inducing opponents to perform actions like low or mid kicks that leave them vulnerable after guarding, or targeting moves with long recovery times like low sweeps or low kicks. The guide stresses the importance of timing and reading the opponent's actions to land these throws successfully. The page concludes by examining special, advanced situations for deciding when and how to land a crouching throw, including specific techniques after a low punch counter hit, or by using a quick forward movement to bait a reaction. The numerous screenshots throughout illustrate the key moments and techniques discussed. This page continues the Virtua Coliseum feature, but shifts focus to updates and fan content for Virtua Fighter 2. It prominently announces the release of the Virtua Fighter Graphics Model 2 art book, showcasing stunning CG illustrations of characters like Lao Chan, Akira Yuki, Pai Chan, Jackie Bryant, and Jeffrey McWild, highlighting the graphical beauty achieved on the Model 2 hardware. The page also notes the final CG portrait CDs for Jeffrey and Kagemaru are now available. Fan mail and illustration submissions are featured, showing fan art for Virtua Fighter 2 characters and even a couple from Fighting Vipers, reflecting the community's passion. There's also a brief anecdote about a strange phenomenon during a Virtua Fighter 2 match. The section concludes by soliciting fan art for a future theme, asking readers to depict Virtua Fighter characters as if they were in an RPG. This page dives into the latest information on the tentatively titled Virtua Fighter Kids, declaring 40% completion and boldly predicting game content based on recently released footage. It features prominent screenshots showcasing actual gameplay with adorable, super deformed versions of Virtua Fighter characters, highlighting a charming new visual style distinct from the main series. The article focuses on the kawaii, cute aspect of the game, showing off the character select screen with chibi renditions and simplified profiles, accessible even to younger players or those not fluent in complex text. It also discusses the kids effect, extending to victory poses and stages, featuring familiar characters like Sarah Bryant and Jackie Bryant in exaggerated, cute poses and settings. Additionally, the page touches upon the gameplay itself, mentioning that while the core techniques are familiar from Virtua Fighter 2, they have been adapted for this simplified version. A section titled VF Kids Diary provides a logbook perspective on a location test, offering insights into the game's development and initial impressions. There's also a brief update on Fighting Vipers, mentioning its final public test, and hints about command simplification compared to Virtua Fighter 2. The overall tone is excited and enthusiastic about the cute new take on the Virtua Fighter universe. This page jumps into more fighting game action with a deep dive into Fighting Vipers. It reveals some ultimate techniques and the public release of commands for the character Marla. Specific new moves for characters like Picky, Honey, Grace, Raxel, Tokyo, Jane, and Sandman are shown with command inputs and screenshots. The article mentions anticipation for a Pepsi Cup tournament and highlights that the final public test is ongoing. There's also a section explaining how to unlock and play as Marla. Switching gears, the page also covers Sword and Sorcery, titled Continue Report. It announces the voice actress for Lushin, Megumi Hayashibara, who was chosen via a fan contest. The article details differences between the 3D and upcoming Saturn versions, noting that the Saturn version features significant graphical updates and redesigned characters, including a comparison showing the revamped Water Demon character. It praises the enhanced visual quality of the Saturn release. This page delves into two highly anticipated titles, Snatcher and Thor, Sirei Uki Keaton. For Snatcher, the article highlights its unique cyberpunk world set in Neo-Kobe City, where the player takes on the role of a junker, a special police unit member tasked with hunting biohumanoid snatchers. It details the Junker HQ as the investigation hub, featuring various crucial rooms and training facilities. The piece also showcases the Junker's key equipment, including the versatile tricycle for travel and the powerful gun blaster weapon, assisted by the Navigator robot Metal Gear MK2. A significant point is the graphical upgrade on the Saturn version compared to earlier PC releases, promising a more visually impressive experience. The page then shifts focus to Thor: Ryuki Kiden, an action RPG presented from a top-down perspective. It introduces the protagonist Leon and his quest to defeat the demon god Agital. The article breaks down Leon's basic movement and combat actions, including dashing, jumping, crouching, and various attack types, noting that special moves are now command input driven. It also touches upon the weapon system, mentioning 4 types available. A key gameplay element highlighted is the acquisition of elemental spirits to enhance abilities. 6 spirits are introduced, each with distinct powers, such as the spirit of sound pulse for attacking enemies, or the spirit of water deity for healing. The magazine seems impressed by the depth these systems add to the gameplay. This page features updates on 2 upcoming Sega Saturn titles. First we have Omakase Taima Sangyo, an adventure game starring a 3-girl idol group. Set in an art museum, the game sees the girls battling demons, each utilizing unique elemental attacks based on fire, lightning, and light. A key plot point revolves around one of the group members being trapped within a painting. The second game highlighted is the delightful action RPG Linkle Liver Story. Featuring adorable animal characters, the gameplay includes standard action elements like attacking, jumping, dashing, and guarding, with a partner character named PH Tumak aiding the protagonist Kitcha. The early narrative touches upon Kitcha's dream and a conflict with an evil spirit. Movement between areas is handled via a world map, and a standout feature is a comprehensive weapon cultivation system, allowing players to grow an impressive 128 types of weapons from seeds found throughout their quest. This page provides a look at 2 distinct Sega Saturn titles. First up is My Best Friends, an adult-rated puzzle game scheduled for release in late March. This unique title features jigsaw puzzles of various female characters, with gameplay focused on completing them against the clock. A compelling feature is how the ending movies change across 4 stages, based on the player's clear time, encouraging efficiency. The game promises charming animation and voice acting. Also featured is the Sega Saturn port of Street Fighter Alpha. Developed by Capcom, this fighting action game was 100% complete at the time, and rated for all ages. The text praises it as a masterpiece, and the strongest entry in the series at that point, highlighting the intense battles against tough opponents and the excitement of executing stylish special moves. Detailed move lists for several characters are provided. A section on the right explains how to fold and cut the page to create a valuable CD jacket, a common practice in magazines at the time. A brief staff recruitment ad for Atlas is also present at the bottom. This page continues the look at Street Fighter Alpha, providing move lists for additional characters like Zangief, Dalsim, M. Bison, and Dan Hibiki. It also details the methods for unlocking and playing as the hidden characters M. Bison, Evil Ryu, and Dan. The main feature is a large promotion highlighting 7 new releases from a publisher, including titles such as 7 Mansions, Angelique Special, Romance of the 3 Kingdoms, IV, Wall of Fire, Teitoku no Ketsudan, Winning Pose 2, Goku 2, Tenku no Kishi, and Air Management 96. The focus then shifts to 7 Mansions, introduced as the first game in a new mystery adventure series. Based on a novel, it's described as an adventure game incorporating mystery elements and puzzles set within the titular mansion. The key characters are introduced with portraits, including the protagonist Heihachi Tadokoro, and others like Kuromiya, Suzuko, Madoka, Chisato, Akashima, and the dog Chiro. Screenshots provide a look at the game's environments, emphasizing its atmospheric setting. This page dives deep into 7 Mansions, highlighting it as the exciting first entry in a new mystery adventure series from Koei. The feature includes an interview with the original author, Shimoda Keiki, who discusses the transition from novel to game and sees digital media as a highly creative space, perfect for reviving the classic mystery-adventure genre. The article explains that the game takes players through 7 distinct mansions, filled with elaborate puzzles and hidden secrets waiting to be uncovered. Shimoda Keiki hints at intriguing elements, like rooms that move, and complex structures designed to challenge players. The narrative blends mystery, adventure, and even a touch of romance, with a fascinating connection to the Warring States period, adding historical depth. The magazine teases the game's secrets by presenting 4 keywords crucial for solving the mysteries, including concepts like Shadow of the Big Dipper and Hidden Treasure. The editors also chime in with their own speculative thoughts on the game's potential twists and mysteries. Promising to deliver a satisfying experience for Saturn fans, 7 Mansions look set to offer a deep and engaging mystery adventure. The page is illustrated with screenshots showing different mansion interiors and portraits of the author and interviewer. This page features a deep dive into the upcoming Sega Saturn title, Angelique Special. It introduces the game's premise, aiming to become the queen who governs the universe, aided by the 9 guardian saints. The game is set in an airborne capital, where players engage with the guardian saints through command selections to progress the story and cultivate a continent. The core gameplay involves nurturing the continent to encourage population growth, which is key to passing the Queen Selection exam. The Guardian Saints themselves possess unique powers and provide support, with interactions deepening based on compatibility and intimacy, potentially leading to romantic relationships. The page highlights the various Guardian Saints, showcasing portraits and brief descriptions for each of the 9, including Oscar, Julius, and Clavis, noting their voice actors and the elements they control. There's also a mention of the protagonist's rival, Rosalina, described as a noble girl with a slightly unpleasant side but potentially a good friend. With vibrant character art and screenshots of the game's locations and interface, the feature emphasizes the grand love story revolving around the universe that players will experience. It positions Angelique Special as a unique simulation game focused on character relationships and strategic development. This page is dedicated to Koei's tactical RPG, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Aikitsuden, presented as part of a feature on their new releases. You play as Liu Bei, aiming to establish the kingdom of Shu and unite the land. Following the dramatic events of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms novel, the core gameplay is a strategic simulation centered around turn-based battles on grid maps, each with specific victory conditions that must be met. Between battles, a story mode progresses the narrative, offering opportunities to gather information or acquire items. The game features various unit types, including standard infantry, cavalry, and archers, as well as special units like warriors, strategists, barbarians, sorcerers, and transport units, each with unique abilities and strengths. Units level up through experience gained in battle, becoming more powerful. There's also a rock-paper-scissors style compatibility system between unit types. Crucially, the game features over 240 unique historical officers from the Three Kingdoms era, each possessing different skills and stats that affect their performance in battle and as commanders. Player choices during narrative events can lead to different story paths, offering alternative outcomes compared to the original novel. The page showcases portraits of key figures like Liu Bei, the mighty Zhang Fei, and the legendary Liu Biyu, along with screenshots of the battle maps and character stats. This page dives into Koei's upcoming naval simulation, Teitoku no Ketsuden 2, or Admiral's Decision 2, a WW2 game focused on the Pacific theater. As the Admiral, your goal is to command a large fleet and seize control of the Pacific. The game emphasizes 3 core elements: gathering intelligence on enemy movements, controlling the vast strategic map which includes managing bases and logistics, and executing swift and decisive fleet actions based on the information you've gathered. The game features 13 historical scenarios derived from actual Imperial Japanese Navy operations, allowing players to relive iconic moments or create alternate histories. Highlights include scenarios covering the Hawaii operation, Pearl Harbor, the pivotal Battle of Midway, and the intense Shu operation, Leyte Gulf. There's also a grand campaign scenario from the war's beginning to end. The page features screenshots showing the strategic map where you move fleets, tactical battle views of naval combat, and important meeting scenes where you make strategic decisions. This looks like a deep simulation for fans of historical warfare. This page covers 2 simulation titles coming to the Sega Saturn. The first is Koei's winning Post 96, the Saturn version of their popular horse racing simulation. It builds upon the Super Famicom version, adding more detailed settings for horses and characters like trainers and jockeys. The game aims for greater realism in racecourse features and visually upgrades the race scenes significantly, making them more exciting to watch. A neat feature mentioned is the ability to transfer save data from the Super Famicom version using a password system. The second game featured is Gotha 2, a simulation game set on a floating continent, serving as a sequel to the original Gotha. It's described as a scenario-clear type simulation, where the player takes on missions commanding units in tactical combat against an enemy army. The gameplay involves selecting scenarios, strategizing deployment, managing unit equipment, and engaging in battles presented from a 3D perspective. Players can customize unit formations and equipment, with progression offering upgrades. The battle system appears detailed, showing unit status, command options, and radar. The page highlights the strategic depth in both preparation and combat execution. This page covers a business simulation title and delves into the world of Mega Drive and Gear games. First is Air Management 96, a simulation game where you aim to build a global airline network and become the world's leading airline. You manage routes, personnel, and navigate various events that occur during gameplay. The game features 2 distinct scenarios set in different eras and supports up to 4 players in alternating play, adding a competitive edge. The second section focuses on Mega Drive and Game Gear titles, highlighting Madu Monogatari E for the Mega Drive. This RPG takes place in the universe connected to the Puyo Puyo series, following young Ardile as she undertakes a trial to pass a test and escape a tower. Gameplay involves navigating the tower, using command-based magic, and interacting with characters. A unique feature is the Amigo capsule system, allowing players to turn certain monsters into allies. The magic system requires specific directional inputs to cast spells, with more powerful options becoming available as you progress. Recovery items like Fufu can also be combined for stronger effects. A small Sega Scoop section at the bottom briefly mentions Virtua Fighter Mini and Kaitu Saint Tail for the Game Gear. The next page dives into the world of Neon Genesis Evangelion on the Sega Saturn. It presents the game as an adventure title that faithfully captures the essence of the popular TV anime, blending both comedic and serious elements. The game features a complex, branching storyline structured around 3 distinct scenarios: the school arc, which focuses on the daily lives of the characters and their interactions; the battle arc, centering on the intense confrontations with the angels; and the wanderer arc, a more introspective narrative exploring Shinji's journey after losing his memory. A dedicated section highlights Rei Ayanami, promising an exclusive look at her various expressions and scenes within the game, suggesting an expanded portrayal of her character beyond the anime. The page is filled with screenshots showcasing the game's anime-style visuals and glimpses of gameplay, reinforcing the connection to the source material. This page focuses on J.League Victory Goal 96, the 3rd installment in the series, now featuring full polygonal graphics. It details the game's evolution with new additions, including detailed game modes and realistic player actions. The game offers diverse modes, such as a lengthy league mode, a tournament mode supporting up to 16 teams, and a superstar game, where you can create an original club with favorite players. A major highlight is the emphasis on strategic depth, particularly in the league mode, where detailed data is presented before and after matches, influencing tactics and player management. Pre-match settings allow fine-tuning formations and viewing individual player stats. Player actions are a key focus, utilizing motion capture for smooth and realistic movements. The game also includes special command-based actions, adding depth to control, such as the heel lift move demonstrated. Screenshots throughout the page showcase various aspects, from opening sequences and gameplay views to detailed data screens and player lists. This page delves into Vector, a vibrant 3D versus action game that brought exciting robot battles to the Sega Saturn. It highlights the game's humorous characters and dynamic gameplay, perfect for competitive play. A major draw is the support for 2 players, not only via traditional split screen, but also utilizing the Sega Saturn link cable for separate screen displays, enhancing the head-to-head experience. The game boasts a free-roaming control system, allowing robots to move and fight across open 3D fields. Combat mechanics include generating and firing weapons, and a helpful multi-level lock-on system to target opponents. The feature also previews the game's 8 stages, showcasing distinct environments and introducing the boss character for each, giving players a glimpse of the challenges and unique strategies required to survive. This page dives deep into Sim Tower, the classic building management simulation game, specifically highlighting the Sega Saturn version. It breaks down the various facilities you can build to attract residents and visitors, explaining their functions and requirements. The guide covers everything from basic residential units and offices to crucial infrastructure like maintenance rooms, shops, and parking. It also details more complex late-game additions like hotels, cinemas, cathedrals, and even a subway station, all essential for reaching the coveted tower status. The focus is on strategic placement and understanding the flow of people to maximize your building's efficiency and profitability, emphasizing the importance of elevators to keep things running smoothly. This page presents a look at two puzzle titles for the Sega Saturn. On the left is Kukurin Pa, an action puzzle game that introduces an interesting mechanic where you connect fuse lines and ignite them to clear blocks, moving beyond simple block matching. The game features unique special attacks for each character and includes multiple modes like story and versus. On the right, Rainbow Town is a logic puzzle title, which is essentially a robust take on nonogram puzzles, where you use numbers on the grid edges to fill squares and reveal hidden images. It stands out with a color logic mode that uses combinations of just 3 colors to create 7, adding a layer of complexity to the picture drawing puzzles. The game also includes modes for learning how to play, editing puzzles, and creating your own challenges. This page showcases 2 distinct software titles for the Sega Saturn that lean heavily into the multimedia and database capabilities of the console. On the left, we have a software title based on the highly popular Japanese cooking show Iron Chef, known in Japan as Ryori no Tetsujin. This isn't a cooking simulator, but rather an interactive database allowing fans to delve into the world of the show. Players can explore the iconic kitchen stadium, search detailed information on the Iron Chefs themselves and the various challengers they faced, and revisit memorable battle scenes in a roadshow section. It's a unique piece of software designed for fans to immerse themselves in the rich history and details of the legendary program. Featured on the right is Media Romancer, a multimedia database title created by the renowned musician Daisuke Asakura, a key figure in the band Access. This software is a deep dive into Asakura's world, offering access to information across 5 main categories: music, instruments, live performances, personal data, and even includes a game challenge section. It provides fans with a wealth of visual and audio content, including various music videos, highlighting the artist's creative output and personal insights, culminating in a unique interactive experience. This page highlights hyper-ultech tips for Sega Saturn games, ranked by usefulness. Sega Rally Championship earns a perfect 5 points, with tips to unlock mirror mode in arcade and time attack, plus an acceleration boost for championship mode. Mobile Suit Gundam scores 4 points for its stage select, unlocked after 8 clears. At 3 points, Theme Park offers tricks to manage the demo park and acquire a hidden land. Hat-Trick Hero Inns reveals how to unlock the Max Team and maximize the unit's counter during matches. Exhumed, aka, gets 2 points for a cheat to instantly max out cash, while Marriage has tips for salary exploits and resetting birthdays. These tips were submitted by players as part of a contest encouraging sharing game secrets. This page focuses on upcoming Sega Saturn titles, promising 14 pages packed with new information. First up is Mortal Kombat 2 Complete Edition. This port is highlighted as the definitive version, overcoming limitations seen in previous console ports, with larger character sprites and arcade-faithful controls. It features the full roster of 12 fighters, including Liu Kang, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Kitana, and the rest, showcasing their signature finishing moves. Next is Game of the Masters 2, a collection of popular board and table games. This sequel includes classics like shogi, go, chess, mahjong, backgammon, and more. Players can enjoy free battles or take on the challenge mode, aiming for the title of Master by defeating 7 different opponents. Finally, we have Johnny Bazooka, an action game where music is the core theme. Johnny uses a guitar as a weapon to fight enemies and rescue a kidnapped rock band member, with stages and items all featuring musical motifs. This page continues the focus on upcoming Saturn titles under the Coming Soon banner. First is My Best Friends, a unique puzzle game where solving jigsaw puzzles featuring anime girls reveals increasingly revealing visuals depending on how quickly you complete them. The game initially features 5 girls, with 3 more unlockables for a total of 8, each with their own brief profile. There's also a curious mode mentioned involving phone numbers to unlock special visuals, suggesting a hidden content system. Next up is High Octane, a high-speed combat racing game developed by Bullfrog and Crystal Dynamics. Players pilot futuristic hover cars, equipped with weapons like machine guns and lock-on missiles, battling opponents across 9 varied courses. The game emphasizes aggressive combat as much as racing, supporting a competitive 2-player mode. Finally, we see Gex, a quirky action platformer starring a gecko protagonist. Gex is noted for his ability to climb walls and ceilings, using his tail whip and sticky tongue attacks to navigate environments and defeat enemies. The game's levels are themed around different TV channels, taking players through varied worlds inspired by horror films, martial arts, movies, and cartoons. This page features more upcoming titles for the Saturn. First is Water Margin, Kyofu Tenrai, a fighting game that expands its roster by adding 2 characters from the Fighter's History Dynamite series, Mizoguchi and Yunmi, bringing the total to 14 fighters. The game addresses feedback from the previous version, with improvements like simplified controls, adjustable game speed, and enhanced character visuals, promising a more enjoyable and strategic battle experience. Next is Gusun Oyoyo S, an action puzzle game where players must guide characters through treacherous mazes by strategically dropping blocks to build paths and overcome obstacles. This Saturn port is based on the arcade version and features updated graphics and arrangements. The goal is to navigate the maze and rescue 2 trapped companions. Finally, we have the Gradius Deluxe Pack. This collection delivers faithful arcade ports of the classic horizontal shooters Gradius and Gradius 2. A major addition for this release is an original opening movie rendered in high-end CG, visualizing iconic stages and battles from both games. The quality of the port, particularly in replicating the arcade's hit detection and enemy patterns, is highlighted as essential for series fans. This page covers several diverse upcoming releases for the Saturn. First up is NFL Quarterback Club 96. An American football simulation that boasts impressive depth with over 400 formations, player development modes, and the ability to recreate iconic plays for a highly realistic experience using real team and player names. Next are 2 Mahjong titles. Tokimeki Mahjong Graffiti continues the series with new characters and focuses on enhancing the visuals and emotional depth of the character interactions alongside the Mahjong gameplay. Mahjong Hyper Reaction Rai introduces a unique mechanic where character reactions, specifically stripping scenes, change based on the player's score, promising varied outcomes depending on how well you play. We also see Quarantine, a port of the overseas 3D driving and shooting game. Set in a grim future, you play as a taxi driver, earning cash to upgrade weapons and fight enemies in a post-apocalyptic city. Finally, Sonic Wings Special arrives on the Saturn, a compilation based on the Aero Fighter's vertical scrolling shooter series from the arcade. This version includes elements from previous games and notably converts the vertical scrolling gameplay to a horizontal format for the Saturn release, offering a fresh perspective on the classic arcade action. The Sega Saturn is set to receive a varied lineup of games. Lupin III. The Master File is a database title packed with information and exclusive animations for fans of the anime. Great Adventure. The Miracle of St. Elmo is a simulation RPG where players navigate the Age of Discovery through naval exploration and battles. 5 People Who Dream of the Great Sea appears to be an RPG focused on adventuring, featuring characters like Lion. Lastly, Lode Runner. Legend Returns revives the classic action puzzle gameplay with 150 maps and a map editor for custom level creation. The next page presents a diverse selection of upcoming Sega Saturn titles. Leading off is Lifescape, a journey through 4 billion years of life, an edutainment title that takes players on a historical voyage through the evolution of life on Earth. It features various interactive environments, from recreating ancient ecosystems with a Dyna synthesizer to exploring the world of dinosaurs and the Burgess Shale creatures. The game visually depicts diverse prehistoric organisms through CG renderings. Next up is Defcon 5, an action-adventure game where players infiltrate a secret hostile base. The goal is to navigate complex 3D environments, bypass security systems, and contend with enemy robots, droids, to ultimately escape the facility. Then, the classic text adventure Zork Id makes its appearance, reimagined for the Saturn. While preserving the original game's narrative core, this version enhances the experience with atmospheric background visuals and audio, offering a more immersive take on the groundbreaking interactive fiction. Finally, golf enthusiasts can look forward to World Cup Golf in Hyatt, Dorado Beach. This title delivers a 3D golf simulation experience, set on the scenic Hyatt Dorado Beach course. Players can expect detailed graphics and adjustable parameters for a realistic golfing experience. This page previews several upcoming Sega Saturn games across various genres. Sports fans can anticipate FIFA Soccer 96, boasting realistic football action and multiple game modes, and Dokkan Soccer, with its unique playstyles. Mahjong enthusiasts are offered Mahjong Juzu, featuring distinct characters and authentic gameplay supervised by a professional, along with Kurubushi Kyudai Gekiju Dai Ichimaku Mahjong Hen, which incorporates characters from the Tenchi Muyo series. For those seeking action, Titan Wars is a 3D shooting game set on Saturn's Moon Titan with integrated live-action sequences. Angel Paradise Volume 1 is a puzzle game featuring Idol Yuko Saki, promising a unique gameplay experience. Finally, the Girl New Title Trends section lists a variety of additional titles, including Mega Man X3, arcade ports, racing games, and more, ensuring a diverse lineup for Saturn players. This release calendar focuses on upcoming games for Sega platforms, primarily the Sega Saturn. The Saturn section highlights a diverse lineup with tentative release dates from early 1996 into 1997. It showcases various genres, including action, RPGs like Resident Evil, Castlevania and Tomb Raider ports, sports titles, FIFA Soccer 96, racing games, and sequels to popular franchises such as Panzer Dragoon Saga and Virtua Cop 2. The calendar also lists a few releases for the Mega Drive/Mega CD, with titles like Shadowrun and Magic Hole Tale, indicating continued support for these older platforms. The Game Gear section features 2 games, including Virtua Fighter Mini. An editorial note mentions the competitive market, with a focus on the PlayStation and the Saturn's potential, hinting at future games like Virtua Fighter 3. The page provides a comprehensive overview of Sega's upcoming software, particularly for the Saturn. This page features the Hyper 3D battle game G-Bockers for the Sega Saturn. It showcases exciting 3D arena combat screenshots and the game's unique robot character designs. The core gameplay revolves around wide-open 3D environments, where players engage in battles using diverse attacks triggered by command inputs, adding an action element beyond simple shooting. It supports 2-player battles, notably allowing linked play using the Saturn's communication cable for intense versus matches, or competitive play without the cable. The game was set to release on February 23rd for 5,800 yen, with a limited pack including the communication cable available for 6,300 yen. There was also a pre-order campaign ending February 18th, offering exclusive G-Bockers themed underwear as a bonus item. This page is a special appendix for the Sega Saturn game Night Warriors, Darkstalker's Revenge, presented as the Book of Knowledge and Awakening. It's highlighted as a comprehensive guide, detailing the fundamental knowledge players need to fully understand and utilize all the characters featured in this fighting game. The page prominently displays the game's logo and artwork of a menacing demonic creature, suggesting a focus on the game's dark and intense fighting mechanics. This guide aims to provide in-depth explanations of the core concepts for mastering the diverse roster of Darkstalkers. This page introduces the world of Night Warriors, Darkstalker's Revenge, with atmospheric text hinting at a challenge from beings of the night and ancient powers. It immediately dives into the core of what makes the game unique, presenting the new system that accommodates the non-human combatants and their supernatural abilities. This system breaks from traditional fighting game norms, allowing for dynamic and unconventional battles. Key mechanics are highlighted as examples, such as Air Guard, which permits blocking while airborne, Movement Tech Rise, offering strategic recovery options after being knocked down, and the Special Gauge, which powers devastating attacks. Screenshots feature characters like Dimitri, Morrigan, and Sasquatch demonstrating these actions. A table of contents reveals that this guide will proceed to detail the game's basic systems before dedicating sections to each of the unique Darkstalkers characters, including Dimitri, John Talbane, Morrigan, Lord Raptor, Victor, Anacaris, Rikuo, Sasquatch, Huitzel, and Pyron. This page dives deep into the combat systems of Night Warriors, Darkstalker's Revenge. It starts with normal attacks, explaining how the unique non-human characters influence their range and utility. A major focus is the chain combo system, a hallmark of the game, detailing how players can link different strength attacks fluidly, as shown in the diagram illustrating the connection possibilities between weak, medium, and strong punches and kicks for creating rapid sequences. The page also covers specialized techniques, like the pursuit attack, used for striking down opponents, and the guard reversal, or Dark Force Guard, a defensive maneuver executed while blocking. Special moves are then detailed, powered by the special gauge, Dark Force Gauge. These include various types like projectile attacks, physical strikes, and command throws, with the page highlighting the more powerful ES/X versions, accessible by using gauge. Finally, the page celebrates the uniqueness of fighting as or against those who are not human, showcasing examples like Bishaman's ability to split, and Donovan's dramatic transformations into powerful creatures, emphasizing the exciting and distinct nature of battles in the Darkstalkers universe. This page shifts focus to highlight two distinct characters in Night Warriors: Darkstalkers Revenge, Dmitry Maximov, and John Talbane. Dmitry is presented as a highly balanced fighter, proficient in attack, speed, and technical maneuvers. His key characteristic is the invincibility frames during his dash, making him excellent at approaching opponents safely. His special moves include the Chaos Flare projectile and the multi-hitting Demon Cradle. John Talbane is profiled as an incredibly fast character, both in movement and attack execution. He has a unique forward dash that incorporates a low jump, a feature that allows him to evade high attacks but leaves him susceptible to lows. He uses his speed and low four-legged stance to pressure opponents and counter. His signature moves include the Rapid Beast Cannon and the Spinning Wild Circular. The page features screenshots demonstrating various attacks and techniques for both characters, illustrating their playstyles. It also provides a list of their special move commands and showcases their available color palettes. The analysis underscores Dimitri's reliability and John Talbane's high-speed, evasive combat style. The next page continues the dive into the fighters of Night Warriors. Darkstalkers Revenge, showcasing the seductive succubus Morrigan Ainsland and the undead rocker Lord Raptor, Zabel Zarok in Japan. Morrigan is highlighted for her dominance in aerial combat, with many attacks designed for use in the air. Her unique dash allows her to chain into special moves, and her low dash provides evasion. The text emphasizes her strong anti-air capabilities, particularly referencing her Shadow Blade move as a key tool against airborne opponents. Lord Raptor is presented as a character with bizarre, inhuman attacks and excellent range. His dash allows him to traverse the screen quickly, closing distance or creating space. He excels at punishing opponents with strong kicks and has reliable anti-air options like Skull Sting. His Hell Dunk attack is noted for its invincibility. The section also touches upon his ability to perform chain combos from standing positions. Both characters' special move command lists are provided, along with screenshots demonstrating their signature attacks and strategies. The page concludes by displaying their available color palettes. This page delves into two more unique combatants from Night Warriors: Darkstalkers Revenge, the possessed samurai Bishamon, and the ancient mummy king, Anakaris. Bishamon is presented as a character defined by his potent attack power and reach, primarily utilizing sword strikes. The text highlights his ability to engage at various ranges and his strong dash, which allows for quick positioning. His special move, Soul Summon, is noted as a key attack from the character profile section. The basic strategy emphasizes leveraging his range and power, particularly with chain combos and defensive play, using dashes for positioning. Anakaris stands out with his massive size and slower ground movement, but compensates with immense reach and unique abilities. A critical point mentioned is his lack of a guard reversal, making defense challenging. However, he can teleport and dash across the screen, control space with thrown objects, and fight effectively in the air with various floating moves. His basic strategy revolves around using his long reach to control space and punish opponents, excelling in air combat and utilizing throws. Both sections include a table detailing their special move inputs and screenshots, illustrating key attacks and gameplay moments. The page also features a display of their available color options. This page continues the exploration of the fighters in Night Warriors. Darkstalkers Revenge, focusing on the aquatic creature Albath and the massive Sasquatch. Albath is highlighted for his projectile attacks, like the Sonic Wave and Poison Breath, which can temporarily stop opponent movement. His strategy emphasizes using these tools to control space, applying chain combos, and utilizing his guard reversal technique. The content suggests leveraging his projectile range and the stun effect to set up offense, making him a character strong at keeping opponents at bay. Sasquatch is presented as a powerhouse known for his destructive strength and mobility, particularly his unique forward dash, which becomes an airborne jump. His large size and powerful moves, including guard-breaking attacks and chain combos from dashes, are key to his game plan. The text notes his ability to stop opponents temporarily, with moves like Big Brunch, and his overall destructive capability, making him a formidable, hard-hitting character who excels at close range after closing distance with his dash. Both sections include details on special move inputs and screenshots showing off key attacks and tactical scenarios, along with a look at their available color palettes. The next page features character profiles for Victor von Gerdenheim and Felicia from Night Warriors, detailing their unique abilities and fighting styles. This page profiles two more distinctive fighters from Night Warriors. On the left is Shchinko, highlighted for her exceptional reach and the ability to throw a variety of items at opponents. Her forward dash grants temporary invincibility, and she even possesses an air dash, offering unique mobility options. The article notes that while her reach is long, there's something she lacks, but mastering her item throwing is key to her gameplay. The basic strategy focuses on keeping opponents at bay, using her reach, and zoning effectively with projectile items. On the right is Donovan Bane, the powerful sword fighter. His main weapon, Dieleg, can be driven into the ground or sent flying, though its power diminishes with distance. The magazine advises staying grounded to maximize the sword's effectiveness. His strategy involves utilizing Dieleg for both offense and setting up traps, including the devastating kill shred technique. Both character sections provide command overviews and strategic tips, offering insights into their unique fighting styles and how best to wield their abilities in combat. The next page profiles two more distinct fighters from Night Warriors. On the left is Phobos, known internationally as Huitzil, a large robot character. The article highlights his unique movement capabilities, including a special jump dash and the ability to hover, offering different mobility from other fighters. His basic strategy focuses on fighting at a distance, using projectiles like his plasma beam and mail launcher, with his chain combos also noted. He also possesses a guard reversal ability. On the right is Pyron, a powerful cosmic being, despite his imposing size. The article notes that the hitboxes on his special moves are relatively small, making him somewhat tricky but potent. He is described as having high stats overall, and a basic strategy centered around effectively using his special moves for zoning and controlling space. His ability to teleport is also mentioned as a useful defensive tool. Both sections include a summary of their special moves and strategic tips for playing them. At the bottom are examples of the characters' different color palettes. This page from Victor Entertainment Fan Magazine gives readers a look at several upcoming and anticipated Sega Saturn titles. Featured prominently is the exclusive reveal of Dungeon Master, resurrected as a Saturn original game, highlighting a revival of the classic series, with the twist of featuring three beautiful girl warriors, one of whom, Marika, is depicted in detail. Screenshots showcase the familiar first-person dungeon-crawling gameplay alongside character art. The page also offers a glimpse into the overseas game development front lines, showcasing titles like the Supershot Golf series, the pioneering Tomb Raider, Swagman, and Novastorm. Further down, another section previews Thunderhawk 2 and sea bass fishing with screenshots, and also mentions Mao Yugekitai Katsugekihen. The right side features lively cartoon artwork, promoting the general excitement for new games, listing many of the same titles, like Supershot Golf, Tomb Raider, Swagman, Novastorm, Thunderhawk 2, and sea bass fishing, as highly anticipated releases. It's a diverse look at Victor Entertainment's lineup, and exciting foreign titles making their way to the Saturn. This page announces a major scoop. Production has officially begun on a brand new, completely original Dungeon Master game for the Sega Saturn. This isn't just a port, but a fresh entry in the legendary real-time 3D dungeon-crawling RPG series. While many details are still undecided, it's confirmed as a single-player real-time RPG. The article features a quote from Wayne Holder, the creator of the original Dungeon Master at FTL Games, expressing anticipation for this new Saturn title. The development team is introduced as a strong lineup experienced with the series, including producers and programmers who previously worked on Dungeon Master ports. Highlighting the game's presentation, the text emphasizes 3D dungeon exploration and the move to high polygon graphics for this new entry. There are striking visuals, including key art of a fiery creature and the game's title. However, importantly, the fine print reveals that the screenshots shown are actually from the PC version of Dungeon Master 2, Skullkeep, serving as examples rather than footage from the Saturn game itself, which is still early in production. Finally, The magazine is running a passionate call for fan ideas for the game, offering readers a chance to submit concepts, even simple ones, for consideration, and potentially have their name included in the game's credits, along with winning original goods. Submissions require basic contact information and must arrive by January 31st. This page offers an exclusive preview of America, an intriguing adventure RPG centered around superpower girls. It introduces the core trio of heroines: Akira, a delinquent with teleportation abilities; Marika, an energetic girl with psychokinesis; and Kaname, a composed individual described as having strong mental abilities. The game blends adventure with horror elements in what's billed as a slightly erotic story. Players will navigate a detailed recreation of Tokyo, solving mysteries with the girls' powers. The article also reveals the appearance of rivals, including the formidable Olga, another superpower-wielding character. A fun detail is the call for fans to submit their own memorable character lines, with selected entries potentially appearing in the game. The page features vibrant character art and some early design sketches, setting the tone for this unique title. This page dives into the latest development news for upcoming overseas games. First up is Super Shot The Golf, a polygonal golf game designed for an arcade feel with easy controls. It boasts various modes, including match play and tournament, supporting up to 4 players. A cool feature is the dynamic camera that follows the ball after a shot, adding to the immersion, along with multiple viewpoints during gameplay. Next we see Tomb Raider, Core Design's highly anticipated 3D action-adventure title. You play as Lara Croft, exploring ancient ruins and solving puzzles. The game utilizes polygon graphics and detailed texture mapping to bring places like Egyptian tombs to life, promising a truly immersive exploration experience with cinematic camera work. We also get a look at Swagman, another title from Core Design. This appears to be an action game featuring distinct, computer-drawn graphics and animation. It seems to have a quirky atmosphere, and potentially involves puzzle-solving elements within its unique world. Finally, Novastorm is featured. This is a 3D shooting game developed by Psygnosis. It stands out with its inclusion of full-motion video sequences, giving the gameplay a dramatic, almost cinematic feel, like an SF movie. This page presents a preview of Bunny-chan and Kingyo-san, an action game developed by Victor Entertainment. Set in the fictional Kyo Year 3, the villain drive. Bon is back with a new scheme, this time driven by greed for gold. Unlike his previous appetite-based plot, the article highlights that the game shifts from the previous title's genre to a more action-oriented experience. Players control Bunny-chan, engaging in various moves like jumping, stepping on enemies, throwing objects, and attacking with her weapon. The basic controls include taking or throwing items with the A button, attacking with the B button, jumping with the C button, and dashing with the R button. Screenshots display the colorful, somewhat cartoony 2D graphics, showing Bunny-chan battling enemies and navigating environments. The preview describes Bunny-chan's primary attack using her unique weapon and mentions the ability to pick up and throw various items, including enemies, which seems to be a key mechanic. The dashing move allows for quick movement and potentially dodging attacks. The overall tone suggests a lighthearted yet challenging action-adventure. The next page continues the preview for Kyo Flying Squadron. It details the diverse stages you'll encounter, moving beyond the previous title's formula, and highlights the inclusion of side-scrolling shooting segments, offering a change of pace. New characters are introduced, most notably Himiko, the granddaughter of the returning villain, Drive Bon. She plays a significant role, holding a valuable jewel needed by Bunny-chan. The page also features profiles for several characters appearing in the game, including various opponents you'll face in the tournament setting, like Arito Koshino, Sanji Shio, Musashi Benkei, Sasuke, the Ishikawa Goemon family, and Sasako Kojiro. Additionally, supporting characters like Keio's pet monkey Pochi and the horse Umatengu are shown, hinting at a colorful cast of both friends and foes in this expanded adventure. The developers share a brief comment on Bunny-chan's continued popularity and evolving role as an action heroine. This page focuses on the intense helicopter combat action of Thunderhawk 2. It highlights the game's premise: flying missions, destroying enemy bases, and defending allies. The game boasts realistic graphics, emphasizing the immersive feeling of being inside the cockpit. The gameplay involves navigating the chopper, using the D-pad and shoulder buttons, while weapon firing and target locking are handled with face buttons. The page details how views can be changed, showing both cockpit and external perspectives. The game features various operations spread across the globe, each comprising multiple missions. Examples of operational theaters are shown, including the Middle East, South America, the Panama Canal, and the South China Sea, each with brief descriptions of their unique mission objectives, such as transport escort, attacking drug cartels, securing shipping lanes, and rescuing hostages. Finally, the page mentions that the game includes impressive demo scenes upon mission start and completion, showcasing the game's visual flair beyond the core gameplay. Screenshots throughout the page illustrate the cockpit view, external flight, mission select map, and the dramatic mission start and game over screens. This page dives into the realistic sea fishing simulation, Sea Bass Fishing by Victor Entertainment, highlighting the intense battles you can experience with large fish. It boasts simple controls designed to quickly get you into the action. The core gameplay loop involves casting your lure using a power gauge to determine distance, then waiting for a bite. Once hooked, the screen switches to the fight time view where you manage the struggle. You control reeling speed, maintain tension on the line, and battle the fish to avoid snapping your line or letting it get away. The page shows the key gauges, including the tension meter, which is critical during the fight. A major component is the tournament mode, featuring multiple ranks from amateur to top pro and a classic event where you compete against other anglers by catching sea bass within set time limits. The game features many different types of lures, 72 in total, to experiment with. You can also choose from several partner characters who provide useful advice during your fishing trips. The page also previews various fishing spots shown on a map and introduces key figures like a veteran fishing guide character.